I lost 40% in 2 months, and I did not win a single trade in those 2 months. Now, I'm going to be going over exactly why this happened. This might have happened to you as well, maybe longer, but I'm going to go through why it happened, what I learned, and just a little bit of a story behind the situation. I've been trading for about 2 years at this point. I'm about 5.5 years into it now, so quite a few years ago. And I remember it specifically. It was August and September. Those 2 months, I did not win a single trade. I took 20 trades each month, and I lost a combined total of 40%. And on top of that, this was personal capital, right? So this wasn't a prop firm or, Darwin X or anything like that. This was my own money. I lost 40% over 2 months, and I did not win a single trade. Now, it's actually quite surprising that, I carried on with it after that. I feel like a lot of people would have quit or, decided not to do it, but for some reason I'm a bit stupid like that, and I decided doing it, and here we are over 3 years later. But that being said, what actually happened? How do you even possibly lose that much percent in 2 months? How do you take 40 trades and not win a single one? It's kind of crazy. So the first side of it is obviously going to be the strategy, right? That's, the bit that everyone can fail on collectively a lot of the times. And this was back when I was trading ICT. Now, I've done a lot of videos on ICT around what I think of it, and my opinions of it, but this was kind of in my depth of ICT, and it was bad. I was changing and finding new things all the time as people kept inventing new blocks, new zones, new things, and I just decided to combine it all to, one strategy and trade that with no testing, with no, practice myself, just straight in sending it. So that's obviously my fault. But I just got so confused between everything that was out there around ICT that I was taking these insane trades that just didn't exist. I was on the 1 minute 30 second time frames, like completely stupid, degenerate stuff. And I would never ever do that now. And it's funny to look back at, some of the trades. I still have the account, or I did still have the account. And when I used to look back at it, it used to make me laugh at, how bad some of these trades were. Now, because I was on such a low time frame, I was taking a lot of trades, right? 20 trades over each month, so 40 trades in 2 months is insane. I sometimes have a year where I don't even have that many trades now, and that was because of the time frame I was on. So that was another problem, the time frame and what I was trading. It was too complicated. It had no data behind it. I'd done no testing myself, and it was just complete suicide, I think, from trading. From a trading perspective. Now, on top of that, we have psychology, right? This is another factor that caused a lot of problems. I'd only been in the trading game for 2 years, and I don't think that's long enough to build up enough psychological resilience that you need to be a good trader. I still revenge traded. I still had FOMO. I still had fear of entry. There were loads of things I really struggled with. And so put this all together where you have a strategy that doesn't work and has not fundamentally been tested with psychology of a new trader, of someone that's only been trading for 2 years. It was just a complete mess. And I remember what happened was I had that first sort of losing month, and I was like, okay, 20% in a month, that's probably it was my worst ever trading month in the 2 years that I'd been doing it. And I was like, okay, look, it's a bad month, but that happens to everyone. Next month it will be fine. And the problem was that I then decided that the strategy was the problem, and I changed again. I added new things. I started learning, Wyckoff and inducement and all these random, things that some people use, but for me just was so overly complicated that the next month, guess what happened? I lost another 20%. So in 2 months, I had not won a single trade. I just kept entering, losing, and it's really insane that I was even able to keep going. And I'm surprised at myself, to be honest, that it didn't put me off, because I feel like a lot of people would be put off by that. But obviously, as I've said in other videos, my reason for why trading and all of that existed and was a lot stronger than my, losing streak that I had. At the end of those 2 months, I sat down and I looked at it, and I basically obviously had 40% of my account missing, just like that, and something had to change. And I think it was at that point that I decided to move away from ICT. I was like, look, it's not working for me. I'm not getting it. The strategy isn't quite clicking. I've not tested it. There's just no point risking more capital, because just to get back to where I was, I had to make 40%, which, unless I over leveraged and over risked, that's going to be very hard to do in 2 months, the same rate that I lost it, right? So I decided to move away from ICT. And what I did was I relearned, but this time I made sure to keep my strategy as simple as possible. Now that's something I, preach a lot. Keep it simple. Don't, do anything too crazy. Just trade a simple plan. And that's exactly what I did. So I did this. But on top of that, I learned a lot from the psychological side of this. I learned, to really improve my psychology, to really journal my trades, to really work on, whatever my main issue was, whether it be fear of entering, FOMO, revenge trading, because they all happened during this 2-month period. But what I did was, before any of that, was I took a break. Now, I've spoken about this many times. With your trading, if something's gone really wrong, i.e. you've lost 2 months consistently, you've lost 40% and you have not won a single trade, the first thing you need to do is just stop. Take a break. That does not mean you're quitting. That just means you're coming away from the charts, you're refreshing yourself, and you'll actually find that when you go back, you're probably going to be better than you were before you left, because you've got things like analysis paralysis, right? So I took, I think, a 2 or 3 month break where I did not trade at all. I remember I just completely stopped trading, and I reset. And in that 2 months, I really got into the gym again and was focusing on, other things. I was at university at the time, so I was, very, bogged down in schoolwork. So I kept myself busy, just not with trading. Then, after those sort of 2-3 months, I came back, but I didn't just go straight in with a live account and risk more money. I started building my strategy from the ground up. That means back testing everything. That means, going through what needs to change, what to keep, back testing, and actually getting solid data to support my strategy and to support what I was thinking. So I built that up, and then I'd say I did that for about a month to 2 months. And then when I had a proper strategy again, I went back to trading, and thankfully I've never had a loss like that again, which is great to hear. No one wants to have that once, let alone more than once. So in total, I think I took around 5 months, 5-6 months from the end of that 2-month losing streak to actually, risking and trading capital again, which is a long time, but it was for the better. And I think you need to do that for something where, something is extreme like that, where you've lost a lot of money in a short amount of time. So let me know if you've been in a situation like this as well, because it's definitely difficult to go through. It's quite lonely, but a lot of people go through it, and that's why I wanted to make this video, because I want you to know that I also have those and you're not alone. But let me know what you think of this video. Enjoy, the weekend, and I will see you in the next one.